Okay, let's get started. I hope everyone can hear me well. Let me know if you can't. But my name is Yong Tran. I am the Program Associate of the National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, also known as National ACE. I'm excited to be here today to be your Google expert. These workshops are designed to teach you how to take advantage of all the free resources Google has to offer and take your business to the next level. These workshops are intended for entrepreneurs, business owners, and startups. We are proud to host these webinars as part of our API Strong webinar series. Now, let me go through the agenda really quickly. Oh, well, before that, let's learn about what we're all here to let's learn about what we're all here today for. Learn about the basics of Google Ads, right? And so today's agenda is advertising on Google. How can we use Google Ads to grow your business? Improving your ads. How to write great ad text, refine keywords, and incorporate ad extensions. Measuring success. Understand how your ads support your business goals. Then we'll do a recap and resources, and then a short Q&A if you have any questions. Now let's talk about advertising on Google. So Google Ads can help you whether you're a big business, a small business, a medium-sized business. What we know today is that almost 50% of shoppers say they use Google to discover a new item or product. And almost 60% of people or shoppers surveyed that they use Google to research a purchase they plan to make in-store or online. And so online is definitely, truly our new front door. Let's talk about how ads work on Google search. I'm sure you all know how it ads as a Google searcher, but you might not know how it looks behind the scenes. And so let's say a young woman wants to find a gift for her friend. She goes on Google search to find the answer, and she might type in a keyword, gift for a book lover or gift for a foodie. Google then shows her a result page. And what Google does is Google looks for two things when it comes to ads. One, who's the highest bidder, who has the highest budget to pay for said ad for her to see. And also two, who has the better quality of an ad. So if you do have a less budget compared to your competitors, if you have a better quality ad, Google might choose yours to show her. And then Google appears in front of her and she might do an action. She might click on your website, she might purchase something for you, or she might go in person to your store. But what's most important is that now she knows that you exist. Otherwise, she might not have known that you were selling a product that she was interested in. And then two, now she knows that you're selling something that she needs. Now, there are many different types of ad formats. There's text ads, image ads, shopping ads, dynamic search ads, call-only ads, and video ads. Today, because this is Google Ads Basics, we are only focusing on the first one, the text ads. And so if you want to learn more about the rest of the ads, that's a more advanced course that we can talk about potentially doing later, or you can email me personally to learn more about these types of ads. So moving on, what is text ads? Text ads are the ads on top of the page that we all see with the little ad sign on the side. And what's so wonderful about text ads is that it's pay per click. And so you do not need to pay for the ad just for showing up. You show up for free if you're already paying for an ad. What you're actually paying for is if they do an action. And so the second they click on your ad to go to your website, that's when you make that purchase. That's when Google then takes that money out of your budget, because Google Pay because you're paying Google for every action a customer has, not just appearing on the screen. And so how to set up your Google Ads account is very easy. You first need a Google account, and this is different from a Google email. If you have a Google email, you have a Google account. But if you don't have a Google email, then you need to sign up for a Google account. This will not make a Google email. You can use any email you want. This is just making an account for you. And this is 100% free. You can go on accounts.google.com/signup. Now, to set up Google Ads, you can visit g.co/ads and click Start Now. They walk you through the entire process. It's super easy. You follow the prompt, you enter your business information, and you start on your first ad. So let's walk through what creating an ad looks like. First, you have to select an advertising goal. And I'm actually going to spend a little more time on this particular slide because it's very important to have a mindset change about ads, right? And so as a business owner, you need to think about, why do you want these ads? Some people might say, oh, I want ads because my competitor is doing that. But a lot of times that's just too broad. It's not good enough. It's not a well placement of your time, right? Because you're a small business, every dollar counts. Your time is so sensitive. You want to make sure you're running the most efficient business you can possibly can. And so this is a time that we need to step back and be strategic about advertising on Google. And so as you're figuring out what do you want for your ad, you need to think about, what are your goals? Do you want more people to call into your business? Do you want more people to sign up for your newsletter? Do you want more people to enter your physical location? The more specific, the better, right? And once we know that goal, we can measure that goal. Because if you're not measuring, then you're not marketing. And we're trying to market so that we can make money, right? And so let's take a step back and think about, what do you want out of this ad? And what do your business want out of these ads? And then later on, we can brainstorm more about ways that we can market and the ways that we can get the most return on our investments, right? And then step 2, not as important as the first one, but just as important, enter your business name, add your website address, or enter the location on your site where people go after clicking on the ad. And this might not be your home website, right? Because when we're selling something to somebody, if someone is searching for yoga pants, and you, instead of going directly to the link of yoga pants on your site, you show them your homepage, because we all get excited about showing the customer everything we have. But the thing is, customers are very short with their attention span, and they're also a bit impatient with getting what they want when they want it. And so to build credibility, if they are looking for yoga pants, when they click on that ad, it should go directly to yoga pants. It should not be going to your homepage or any other page that isn't what they were looking for. And when it comes to advertising, the formula is visibility plus credibility equals profitability, right? We want them to know who you are. We want them to trust who you are and what you do. And that's when they feel like they can do business with you. And so moving on, writing your ad. Ads have 3 headlines and 2 description lines. It's optional to include a number, but it's also great to include a number if you have one. This is a chance to be very brief. This is a chance to be using those keywords. You know exactly what your customer is looking for or what they should be searching for you to pop up. This is where you put them. And then step 5, add keywords. These keywords, there should be a theme relevant to the advertised product or service, and the theme helps match your ad to related searches. And so the example here is if you own a spice store, then keywords might be spice store or online spice store, organic spices, sweet spices, savory spices, whatever you're selling, there should be some keywords. And so whenever someone's searching for it, you will pop up. And then finally, you need to select a location for your ad. And I know a lot of businesses get really excited because they want to just blanketly say the entire US. They want business everywhere to come through. But when we're looking for anybody, somebody, everybody, a lot of times we end up getting nobody because it's just too broad. And so what's easier is do a test, have your location small and see how successful it is. If it's bringing in people from across the street in the city, right? And then as you're getting a feel of what brings you the most business with these ads, then you can think about expanding that location. But for now, if you're a beginner, start small and build up. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, sorry. This is the last step to the slide. So you set a budget, right? Google makes it super easy for you. The example here says that, you know, maybe you want a $10 a daily average, how much you want to spend on ads. Maybe you want a $16. It really depends on how much you want to spend per day. And Google will tell you what's the estimated number of clicks you might have. You know, what, and then also you can decide on what time you want these ads to appear. And so some businesses, as you're getting a better feel of the online ad space, you can take advantage of these different tools to set a reasonable budget for yourself, and then also a strategic time for them to show up, and strategic audience you're trying to show, strategic location you're trying to show. And I know this might sound a little scary because there's a lot of strategic thinking and planning, but it actually is not. You know, sometimes it's just you getting on the computer, setting up your Google ads, just throwing things into the wind, seeing what works, and then improving from there, right? We want to help you step by step in this. If you need any support, again, I am here for you. Let me know. I can send my email out later. And then when you're finishing up, you know, the setup, because those steps were to set up your ad campaign, Google will let you review. You would then add your payment information, and then you can set up an optional conversion tracking. And what that means is how many people were converted from your ad to actual customers. You know, if you want that data, Google can help you access that data. It's just setting that up if you want it. And you can definitely go deeper into this, managing your ad campaign, because you can review your performance. You can edit any keyword and themes at any time. You can edit the entire campaign at any time and control where, when ads can appear, managing that budget, everything I mentioned before. And then we can get more advanced if you want to, right? Because there's an option to transition to expert mode. And expert mode, or for the more medium to advanced advertisers, that might not be you yet. That might be a staff of yours who you hired to do this. To get to expert mode, there's a button at the very bottom that says, "Are you a professional marketer?" And if you are, then you can click on switch to expert mode. But if not, then you, as a beginner, you'll be doing smart campaigns where all of these below, the bidding, the ad extensions, are automated to help you make it the most easy for you. For the more expert ad folks, they'll be doing search campaigns, right? Where the advertiser, the staff member, manages every single thing directly. And this is recommended for people who are looking at these data sets every single day. If that's not you, then I definitely recommend staying on the automatic side, because this is a great place to learn as a beginner. But if you are an expert, switch to expert mode. And under expert mode, you can definitely get more in depth in using Google ad campaign. And so now, second part of the webinar, we're going to talk about improving your ads. Now, to improve your ads, let's look at the structure. There are 3 headlines. You only get 30 characters max, 2 description lines, 90 characters max, and then 1 final URL, the most relevant page on your site. As I mentioned before, it's what the customer is looking for, and that might be your homepage, that might not be your homepage. It depends on your ad and what you want out of that, right? And so to write a great ad, it's all about relevancy. What's relevant to the customer? Is it spices? Are you selling spices, or you're telling people to buy specialty spices? Because spices might just be way too broad. You also want to include the keywords in the ad text, and so it hits them multiple times. They know exactly what you're selling and what they're looking for. And then it's great to add some call to action words like call now or order today. Other tips to improve your ads is create a focus group. And what that means is you might have a group of customers or a group of friends who you ask them if they knew nothing about if they knew nothing about your business, and they were searching for something that you're selling. What are some things that they might think about searching on Google? What are the words they might be thinking about? And once you collect those words, you can play with the keywords to see what works best for you. Keep it simple. Definitely, the simpler the better. We're trying to get straight to the point. People don't like being sold, but they like to buy. People don't like ads, but they like relevant information. And so if you're giving them relevant information in an ad, that helps them decide whether or not they want to do business with you, whether or not they want to purchase a product from you. And with Google Ads, you can test all of those different things. And then you can also review your ad performance. And so one ad might be doing better than another ad, and you want to switch the budget up to the first ad, or vice versa. Or you realize a keyword didn't work and another keyword is better. Then you might want to delete and then add, right? And yeah, I just got ahead of myself because the next slide was just that. We want the most accurate keywords, and Google will actually help you know how many clicks you get from essential spices, right? How many impressions you get from Chicago spices. All these different keywords and phrases are being tracked by Google, and you can determine whether or not they're useful for you. And you can turn them on and off on the status section, because right on here, pepper didn't work for them. They only had 4 clicks. And so they turned off that keyword. But essential spices worked amazing for them. And so they made sure they used that word. And so this section is might be a little scary because it goes into a little technical side. I highly recommend you screenshot this because it will be super helpful in the future. There are different types of categories for words. There are broad. These are, as said, broad words. There are phrases with the quotation marks. And so anything that matches that phrase, it will pop up. There are exact matches. And so if you want specifically boba, well, ice cream, boba, chocolate, some trend that was way back when. I'm a little old, but if you wanted those exact words to, if you want your ad to pop up when people search those exact words, then you might want to use the brackets symbol. And then a really good tip is the negative words. And so if you're selling yoga blankets, if you're selling yoga mats, but someone is searching yoga blankets and you don't sell blankets, then you don't want to be paying for every time someone searches yoga blankets. And so you might negative the word blanket because that's not something you sell, but that's the word that is commonly searched with the word yoga. And so this way you're not paying for ads that aren't relevant for you, and you are targeting exactly the customer who is searching for your product. Does that make sense? And so, as I mentioned before, Google has this really intensive keyword plan for search campaigns where you can discover new keywords, see monthly searches, determine the cost of that, organize the keywords, develop new campaigns. Google has so many different resources that can be helpful for you. This planner can definitely help you in making sure you're using the best keywords, because on the online arena, it's all about keywords. Now let's talk about ad extensions. These ad extensions are just additional information. Any type of information you want to add onto your ads, you can add with the extensions. And so that might be a call extension, a site link extension, call out extension, or location extension. Any additional information you might want to add if you want people to enter your physical location, then you might want to use an ad extension for that physical location. And then there's also other extensions that can be for promotion, for prices, automated extensions. If you had a promotion where after every 10 sandwiches, you get 1 free, then you might want to add that extension to your ad. And so people click that promotion and they do business with you, right? This is a great tool for you to use. especially for a business that will be, especially for a business that is trying to promote more of that activity. Now let's talk about measuring success, because again, if we're not measuring, we're not marketing. Going back to what I said before, super important, we need a goal. We need to figure out what you want to accomplish, and once we have that goal, we can use ads to achieve that goal. And so sometimes people try to jump the gun and go directly into the ads, but sometimes tools don't have a use unless you know what you're using it for. And so to use this tool most efficiently, you need to know what your goal is, what you're trying to accomplish. And so here are some basic terminologies that I want to briefly touch over before I get into the goal setting. And that's, the first terminology is impressions. Impressions is how many times your ad was displayed, whether it was clicked or not. And so impressions is how many times it's shown up in front of someone, right? Clicks is when a user actually clicks on the ad and did that action to learn more. And then conversion is when a click on an ad results to a desirable outcome. And so that's the money. So after the click, if they purchase your yoga pants, that then is a conversion. And so what we want is we want to get as many impressions, that visibility as we can, so that we can increase the likelihood that people click onto your website. And then at the end, hopefully they are converted to being your customer. And so with smart campaigns, Google will help you you can use Google to pull up reports on how many impressions you've had, how many clicks you had, how many calls, how many conversions. And so if your goal was to get 100 clicks, then you got those 100 clicks. If your goal was to have conversions, like having people purchase your product, then you can track those using Google Ads. And if your goal was just to let people know who you are, and you just want to get into people's faces, then you want your impressions to be 5,500, whatever that goal is. We'll be able to measure it once you set them, and then we look at the report. And so these reports, it can get very intensive. If you're not very tech savvy, you can definitely reach out for some help. We have a lot of tech support with National ACE. But essentially, we want to measure your investment with Google Ads. We want to measure how profitable your investment is. So Google Ads is a way for you to spend a little money to make money. I'm not trying to sell Google Ads to you. You definitely don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I definitely know that this is a question that a lot of business owners have, and I want to make sure you have the correct information on how to use Google Ads. And another good resource you can use is Google Analytics. It can be connected to your Google Ads, and Google Analytics is just a second tool that goes more in depth with numbers and data and statistics. If that scares you, it's fine. It scares me too sometimes, but honestly, once you get into it, it's easier than it looks. To set up Google Ads, sorry, to set up Google Analytics, you go to g.co/analytics. The account is free. You connect it to your Google Ads and you're ready to go. So wrapping up, just a recap. Excuse me. Reaching customers is that, well, backtrack. There's so many different ways to reach customers. This is just one of many different ways. And we don't really know what works best for you unless we try. And so a lot of this, I encourage small businesses, medium businesses who haven't done a lot of advertising to take a step back, have a little budget to just test different advertising avenues to see what works best for you. And so that might be Google search, that might be YouTube videos, that might be appearing on Google Maps, that might be emails sent to directly to their email. There's so many different ways to advertise, and the world is literally your oyster. If you want to learn more, I'll teach you anything you need to know. And as I mentioned, you can continue your education with Grow with Google and National ACE. Register to our free virtual workshops, just like this one. Please Google our Small Business Resource Center, where you can click on Grow with Google and sign up for upcoming events. I unfortunately can only do Q&A for those who sign up for Zoom. And so if you have questions directly from me during these webinars, please sign up for our Zoom and you can send your questions to our Q&A. And then last resource is Google Premiere. And this is just a great Google 101 app that will give you quick information to be a successful business. Lots of great tips and tricks. So check that out when you have the chance. And Google also has a bunch of free professional tools, SKILLSHOP trainings with all these topics with, their Google teachers aside from me. But as a Google partner with National ACE, I'm here to help you with anything you might need. And Grow with Google is not limited to just businesses. They have great workshops for teachers and students, also job seekers, and then also developers. And Q&A, if anybody have any questions, I am here to answer. So, okay, this is a good question. You mentioned testing out other marketing options. What are some other marketing options? Well, there are marketing options that are online and in person and via mail and flyers. I think we're all familiar with the traditional ones. A mail might show up in your mailbox, or there might be someone outside waving a giant sign with an arrow that points to XYZ business. Online is just another avenue for you to be doing advertising and you to be investing money for visibility, right? And so I am definitely here to help you on the online portion of that. But you can definitely use other avenues of advertising to see what works best for you and your business, what's bringing people into your door and helping you make money. And so later on, I'll be doing a webinar with a webinar about YouTube and how to best use YouTube, right? And but for now, this is Google Ads, and this is definitely one way for you to do some marketing. And yeah, as I mentioned, there are just so many different ways to get your name out there. And so it's all about seeing what fits you and your business. Next question. What if I need tech support? What if I need a little more help? I'm not very tech savvy. If that's the case, as I mentioned before, Google and National AIDS has many free resources for you. You can reach out directly to me at dtran@nationalaids.org. Again, that's D as in dog, T as in train, R as in Robin, A as in apple, N as in ninja at nationalaids.org. Send me any emails and questions you might have. I love to hear. I would love to hear from you. Any stories you might have, and any ways I might be able to help you. You can also visit our main site and our second site, which is our Small Business Recovery Resource Center. And they have a lot of great videos of these webinars that you can watch and learn more things and more tips. Oh, well, as I'm wrapping up, I do want to promote our AAPI Strong Legislative Conference. It's on October 6th to 8th at 10 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. EDT. Definitely come out to that. You can learn more about this event on our main site under events. And I think that is all for today. We can wrap up early if there's no more questions. Thank you so much for being here today with me. I appreciate you all. And thank you for being part of AAPI Strong. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.